The air was thick with smoke. The sound of crying filled the night. And amidst the chaos, a German shepherd darted through the flames, his fur singed, his paws bleeding, but he didn't stop. In his jaws was the soft cry of life, a baby's faint whimper. That was the night Max became more than just a dog. He became a guardian angel. Emma and Ryan had moved to a quiet countryside town for peace, and for their newborn daughter, Lily, born just 3 months ago. Their loyal German shepherd Max had been with them for years, gentle yet protective, especially around Lily. Every night, Max would sleep near Lily's crib. Emma used to laugh and say, he thinks she's his puppy, and maybe, in his heart, she truly was. It was a cold evening when tragedy struck. A sudden electrical short caused the nursery curtains to burst into flames. The fire spread fast, blocking the stairs. Ryan shouted for Emma to get out as smoke filled the house, but Lily was still inside. Emma screamed, trying to run back, but Ryan held her back. The stairs were engulfed. And then through the smoke, Max disappeared into the fire. Inside, visibility was zero. Lily's soft cry guided Max through the heat. The floorboards burned under his paws. He found the crib, flames licking at the sides, and he used his body to shield the baby. Grabbing the blanket gently in his teeth, he pulled Lily out and ran toward the only escape, the back window. With one powerful leap, he smashed through it. Neighbors saw him land on the lawn, his fur smoking, his body trembling, but Lily was alive, crying but safe. When the firefighters arrived, they found Max unconscious beside her, one paw still resting protectively over the baby. At the hospital, both Lily and Max were treated for smoke inhalation. For hours, the family prayed. The doctors warned that Max's lungs were badly damaged, but his heart kept fighting. Emma sat beside him, tears rolling down her face. You saved our baby. Max, please, don't leave us now. Days passed. Lily recovered quickly, and one morning, Max's tail moved, just slightly. The whole room lit up with hope. He had survived. Months later, the story of Max's bravery spread across the country. News channels, newspapers, even the mayor visited to honor him. During the ceremony, as everyone clapped, Lily, now sitting in her stroller, reached out her tiny hand and touched Max's nose. He wagged his tail softly as if saying, my job isn't done. I'll always protect her. This story isn't just about a dog saving a baby. It's about loyalty, courage, and the bond that goes beyond words. In a world full of chaos, sometimes it's the quietest hearts, like Max's. Time had passed. Lily was now 6, cheerful, curious, and full of life. Max, the brave German shepherd who saved her, had grown older. His fur had streaks of gray, and his steps were slower, but his eyes still held the same spark of love. Every morning, Lily would hug him before school. You're my superhero, Max. And Max would wag his tail, laying his head on her lap. But fate wasn't done testing them yet. One stormy evening, Lily's school bus was returning home through a rural road under the river. Heavy rain poured down, and the driver struggled to see the path ahead. Suddenly, the tires slipped. The bus skidded and crashed into the guardrail, half hanging over the edge of the flooded river. Children screamed for help. The driver was injured. The bus started to tilt dangerously. Back at home, Emma received a call. Her worst nightmare. Your daughter's bus. It's in the river. Ryan and Emma rushed out in panic, but roads were blocked. No one could reach the river in time. And then Max, who had been resting by the door, stood up. The rain didn't stop him. He ran into the storm. By the time Max reached the riverside, the current was wild. The bus was sinking fast. Children were screaming for help. Without hesitation, Max jumped into the icy water. His old body fought against the current as he swam toward the wreck. Inside the bus, Lily saw his face through the broken window. Max, you came for me, she cried, tears mixing with the rain. He barked, loud and desperate, as if to say, hold on. Max climbed onto the side of the bus, grabbed Lily's jacket gently with his teeth, and pulled her out just as the bus started to sink. With the storm raging, he paddled toward the riverbank, his strength fading, but he didn't stop until Lily was safe on land. When Ryan and Emma finally arrived, they found Lily shivering but alive, and Max lying beside her motionless. Ryan fell to his knees, hugging both of them, crying uncontrollably. You did it again, Max. You saved our baby again? The paramedics rushed in. Lily was taken to the ambulance. They tried to revive Max. His heart was weak, his body cold, but then, just as Emma whispered his name, his tail moved. He had survived. Once more. Months later, Max was honored as the nation's bravest dog. Crowds cheered. Lily, wearing a white dress, placed a small flower crown on his head and said softly, "You're my hero forever." Max licked her face and rested his head on her lap, the same way he had since she was a baby. As the sun set, a gentle wind blew through the field. The camera pans out, the girl and her guardian together. Years passed like quiet whispers. Lily was now 17 years old, kind, strong, and brave, just like the one who saved her twice. Max had grown old, his fur almost white, his eyes dimmer, his steps slower, but his love for Lily never faded. He followed her everywhere, even when his legs trembled. Every evening, she'd sit beside him in the garden and whisper, "Ah, my best friend forever, Max." And he'd look at her with those same loyal eyes that once faced fire and storm for her. One quiet winter night, Lily noticed Max struggling to breathe. She knelt beside him, tears welling up. "It's okay, Max. You can rest now." She held him close as he rested his head on her lap, his heartbeat slowing, calm and peaceful. The same garden where he once watched over her was now silent. Max took one final breath, his tail giving a faint wag, as if saying goodbye. The world lost a dog that night, but Lily lost a piece of her heart. Days turned into weeks. The house felt empty. No footsteps, no wagging tail, no soft breathing beside her bed. Lily stopped smiling. She'd look at the spot near her window where Max used to sleep and whisper, "I miss you, my hero." Emma and Ryan tried to comfort her, but they knew this bond was beyond words. One afternoon, Lily found Max's old collar, the one he wore the night he saved her. She held it close and made a silent promise. "I'll make sure the world never forgets you." Years later, Lily became a veterinarian and animal rescuer, dedicating her life to saving dogs in need. She started an organization named Max's Paws of Hope. It became a sanctuary where abandoned dogs found love and families found hope. Every rescued dog wore a small silver tag engraved with the words, "In memory of Max, the dog who saved a life." One evening, Lily rescued a small injured puppy from a storm. She carried him home, wrapped in a blanket. As she set the pup down, he looked at her with the same deep brown eyes that once belonged to Max. She smiled through her tears. "Looks like you came back, old friend." The camera pans out. The rain stops. The sky glows golden. And in that peaceful moment, the world had changed. And so had Lily. Now a grown woman, she ran Max's Paws of Hope, one of the largest rescue centers in the country. Hundreds of dogs had found homes, and thousands of lives were touched, all inspired by one brave soul who once saved her as a baby. But even after all these years, there was still a soft ache in her heart, the emptiness only Max could fill. Every evening, she'd visit his memorial stone in the garden, carved with the words, "Here lies Max, the dog who taught the world what love means." She'd whisper, "You're still with me, Max. Every dog I save is because of you." One morning, as Lily walked through the shelter, she noticed a small boy standing nervously by the gate. He was about 7, wearing torn clothes, holding a weak, hungry puppy in his arms. "Miss, please save him," the boy said softly. Lily knelt beside him and took the puppy gently. It was shivering, frightened and frail, but in its eyes she saw something familiar, that same fire, that same courage. The puppy's fur was a golden brown, just like Max's. Lily smiled through tears. "You found me, didn't you, old friend?" Months passed. The boy, named Tommy, began visiting every day, helping Lily care for the animals. He reminded her of herself, kind, brave, and full of hope. One evening, while returning home from the shelter, Tommy and the puppy were crossing the street when a speeding car appeared out of nowhere. The puppy barked loudly, pushing Tommy backward, and took the hit. Lily ran to them, trembling. The puppy lay hurt but alive, his eyes locked on Tommy, the same way Max once looked at her. Tears filled Lily's eyes. "Not again, not you too." She carried the puppy in her arms, whispering softly, "You're just like him, brave till the end." Weeks later, the puppy recovered. Tommy and Lily named him a spirit. He became the shelter's new guardian, playful, loyal, and full of life. Every morning, Spirit would sit beside Max's memorial stone, as if guarding it. Lily often said to visitors, "Max's soul never left us. It just found a new heart to live in." Years later, Lily's shelter turned into a worldwide movement, the Max Foundation. It rescued thousands of animals globally, spreading a message of compassion, courage, and unconditional love. In a grand ceremony, Lily stood on stage, holding Spirit's leash. She looked up at the big screen showing Max's image and said, "This all began with one dog's heart, a heart that never gave up and taught me what love truly means." The crowd stood in silence, tears in their eyes, clapping slowly until the hall filled with emotion and light. In the final shot, Lily walks into the garden at sunset with Spirit by her side. The wind blows gently as flower petals fall over Max's memorial. The camera zooms in, and for a brief, glowing moment, the shadow of Max appears beside Spirit, walking beside Lily like he never left. Years later, Lily had grown older, wiser, and peaceful. Her animal foundation, the Max Foundation, now worked across the world, rescuing dogs, helping children, and spreading the message of kindness and courage. But even after all these years, she never forgot the one who started it all. Max, her first hero. Every year on the same day, she visited his memorial with Spirit, the golden puppy who had once saved Tommy. She would whisper softly, "You didn't just save me, Max. You changed the world." The wind always seemed to answer with a gentle rustle, as if Max was still there listening. One afternoon, a film crew arrived at the foundation. They wanted to make a documentary about Max's story, how one dog's courage inspired millions. As Lily spoke to the camera, flashbacks filled the screen, Max running through fire, jumping into a stormy river, his final peaceful moments. Her voice trembled but stayed strong. The people think he was just a dog, but he was proof that love is stronger than fear. The video went viral, reaching hearts across the world. A few weeks later, Lily received a letter from a young girl in another country. It read, "After watching Max's story, I adopted a dog from the street. He saved me from sadness. Thank you for sharing your hero with the world." Lily smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. Max's courage was now saving people he had never met. Years passed again. Spirit had grown old, just like Max once did. One winter evening, Lily found him lying under Max's memorial tree. His eyes were calm, his breathing slow. She knelt beside him, tears falling silently. "It's okay, Spirit. Go run with him now." As she whispered those words, the last rays of sunlight broke through the clouds, shining directly on both Spirit and Max's grave. Two heroes reunited. Many years later, children ran and laughed in the same garden, surrounded by rescue dogs from Max's foundation. A tall statue stood proudly in the center, a bronze German shepherd with a small child in his arms. A plaque beneath read, "Max, the dog who taught the world to love." The camera pans upward to the sky, soft clouds forming the faint shape of two dogs running side by side into the light.